You can think of many, many people who experienced handicaps, as we would call them, and yet rose to the heights. Franklin D. Roosevelt, for example, rose to the heights of his political career after infantile paralysis and had trouble, much trouble, as you know, in getting around.
So, why do you come to Unity?
What I love about Unity is inherent freedom of choice. And what I mean by that, that there are not rules of believe this, believe that, do this, don't do that. It has an openness of a belief system. For instance, I believe 100% in reincarnation, but it is not required that the person sitting next to me have the same belief. There is a freedom of choice in your belief and a freedom of spiritual understanding.
Why Unity? Because I like the freedom of thought and the freedom to be. I may appear limited to you, but I'm not. Let me share a 1984 recording of Joyce Kramer, which illustrates my point.
And then your ancient Greek orator, who became one of the greatest of that world in those days, was a person with a very, what he called, puny, clumsy body, even with a speech impediment. He was orphaned at 7 years old. His guardians misused the money that was to have been used to take care of him, and he ended up having nothing. But with his speech impediment, he began to practice speaking with pebbles in his mouth. And then he practiced speaking at the ocean front, where he would talk loud without anybody hearing him. He even ran uphill as he recited various works to strengthen his voice and so on. Because he had no other place, he fixed up a cave in which he could study. Someone told him that his speeches smelt like lamp oil, even though he carried no notes, for he had spent so much time. But at 25, he entered public life. Would you call him handicapped? Or someone who happened to be willing to activate their potential even against what we might think to be odds. There are thousands of people. What about Helen Keller, who accomplished a great deal in life with being both blind and deaf very early in life? People have, through the ages, excelled in spite of what would seem to many of us extreme handicaps. Do you ever stop and think that most of us have really nothing to complain about at all, and how foolish it is to not move ahead and progress in life and be just as effective as we want to be and do all the things that we really want to do? You may have 1,000 people with a certain handicap who do nothing constructive, but only one does something and proves that the potential can be activated regardless of that handicap. One who succeeds disproves all the rest. Well, this one proves that there is a force within, a principle of life in man that cannot in any way be defeated, a principle that can be used successfully. Life is for the purpose of spiritual growth and unfoldment, and this includes all the elements of our being. It includes the physical as well as the mental and emotional. It includes the spiritual, all elements of being. It does not exclude anything, because you will find that through the ages, people have attempted to retreat away from the world and away from negation and simply be holy and think holy thoughts. But really, did not adapt to life at all. It was a way out. But life is for the purpose of growth and unfoldment in all elements. It is not for the purpose of just stagnating.